Just because the science says it's healthy doesn't mean it's healthy for you. Just because a friend is doing something healthy and getting results doesn't mean it's going to work for you. Yes, you've landed on the Me and My Health Up podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Hartcher, nutritionist, lifestyle medicine specialist. The purpose of this podcast is to enhance and enlighten your well-being. And today we'll be doing it on the subject of finding your middle road, finding the road that works for you. So it doesn't mean extremism. It's finding what works for you in terms of what you need at your stage of life. So you'll often read scientific papers that says like deliberate cold exposure is good, ice bars are good. However, they might not be the right thing for you in terms of where you're at and where you want to go to. So it doesn't mean just because they're good for you based on this cohort, which might not be relevant to who you are and your age and your sex. So we need to make sure that we understand the science and what they're ultimately trying to, the objectives they're trying to, resolve or seek or find in the paper, and what their conclusions was and who they were working with. What was the cohort they were working with? Is it relevant to you? That's the question. And often these studies are done on a population that's totally different to you, that's got no relevance to you, and you don't ultimately seek the same goal as what they're seeking. So we can get carried away with friends doing various things such as 4-day fast or water fast or dry fast, whatever it might be, and they get some results and you think, oh, maybe I should do that. Maybe I should jump on board. And you do, but you don't get the same results because everyone's different. Everyone's unique and special and different. And your goals might not be aligned to their goals. We have unique goals in terms of what we want to achieve around our health. I often see clients that come to me and say, I'm doing everything healthy, but I'm gaining weight. And that's the thing. It doesn't mean just because it's healthy, it's going to suit you in terms of where you want to go and in terms of where you're at. So we need to take into consideration where you're currently at and where you want to go and what's going to help support you along that road. And it's not going to be an extremism of any type. Yes, we can jump on and do something extreme and get some quick results, but it's not lasting because we can't maintain that extreme habit. It's too one-sided. It's just too much, too overwhelming, and we get bored of it. And so, like I did, I said this in the previous episode, is that we more need to pulse with life as opposed to just doing it for the sake of doing it and thinking it's the right thing and not getting the results that we're seeking. So I'll give you an example. In the last episode, I mentioned recently I signed up for some Hyrox training for a period of time. So it's high intensity cardiovascular resistance training. And I did it for 6 weeks. The first week, I felt amazing. And my results were demonstrating that. For example, my heart rate variability was improved. My deep sleep was improved. I was feeling energetic. I was feeling great. Everything was working well. Digestive system was working well. Good recovery. And as I hit probably the third week, second week I was all right, but I wasn't as good as the first week. Third week to week 6, I was struggling. And yes, heart rate variability was going backwards. It was going in reverse. I was more fatigued, more tired, not feeling like doing the sessions. And I pushed through, but that wasn't what my body needed. And my body, ultimately got results over the 6-week period. But I think I would have got more optimal results around the 1 to 3 week mark. And I think 3 to 6 was sort of sending me in the other direction. And I'm in recovery phase now from it. At least I listened to my body in the end and stopped doing the high intensity cardio training. And I looking for more balance. So yes, it helps. So high intensity cardio training's great, but the amount you do will be either helpful or a hindrance. So if you do excess amounts, like I was training 3 to 4 times a week on top of doing martial arts, and that was way too much. And I realized that in the end. So I pulled back and just focused on the martial arts. So it's really finding that middle road. So yes, starting, you'll feel good. but it doesn't mean it's going to stay good. And it doesn't mean the results will be constant linear progress. I hit the tipping point and then went in reverse, and I'm in recovery phase now. So what I found is when I stopped doing it, obviously things were still not great. And I had to then go and do things to, how am I going to improve this without doing high intensity cardio training? What's my next catalyst? And so I went to massage. I went to the chiropractor one day, and in one day that flicked the switch for me. So overnight, heart rate variability improved, and my what else? The other one that really improved, deep sleep. Deep sleep was came back as well. So deep sleep and heart rate variability has improved, and I'm starting to feel much better. So it was, I was doing a bit of recovery, not doing the sessions, doing more stretching, doing lower intensity, but it wasn't enough to flip the switch. I needed to do some additional support, and I found the massage and chiropractic adjustment was that catalyst for me. And so now it's getting back to finding that middle road. What's the balance for high intensity cardio training and not overdoing it, but keeping it optimal? So it doesn't mean more is better. And it's finding out how much is right for you. And so you want to just not keep doing things for the sake of doing it because it's considered healthy. So, you could get dialed into the health benefits of high intensity cardio training. The health benefits are that you can get good weight loss from it. You can also improve deep sleep, for example. You can, it will help with heart rate variability to a point. And the other one is that it helps with improving your cholesterol profile, improving the HDL, and it can stimulate immune function. But again, it does the stimulus, but if you overdo the high intensity cardio training, the immune system will go backwards. So it's really, and this is different for everyone. So some people might be able to do 5 sessions of high intensity cardio a week and not be working really well. Others, it's one session that makes them work really well. And I think mine is probably somewhere between 2 and 3. I found 4, 5, 6, too many, way too many. And look, if you're in your 20s, yes, you can do this, right? But I'm not, I'm approaching that decade of the 50s. And so I've got to find what works for my decade or where I'm at, as opposed to what works for a 20-year-old. And this is what I see clients, they come to me, they're in their mid 30s and they're saying, look, I used to smash out heaps of exercise and eat really well and I'd lose weight, but I'm not doing that anymore. Well, you're in a totally different phase of life. Your body's doing different things and you've got added responsibilities, more stress. And so we've got to change things up. And so we want to not think what's worked in the past is going to work now. Not necessarily. It may help, but you've got to find that middle road for where you're at and where you want to go to. So I mentioned in the previous episode about more ebbing with the pulse of life. And so you will have surges and you want to get into something and you'll get into it, but then there'll be a lull. There'll be, I don't feel like doing it anymore. And you want to listen to that. You don't want to keep pushing and thinking, I just want that feeling, what I first got from when I first started doing it. I want that back. It's going to come back. It never did for me, right? When I was doing this Hyrox training, I got it for, that first probably 10 days. Then it left me, right? And then I started to regress and go backwards in a big way. And so I'm in that recovery phase coming out now and then working out what's going to be best going forward in terms of the middle road. So there is experimentals. You need to apply, listen to your body, and then and then change around what you're doing and change the formula. And so this is a constant work in progress, and it's constantly changing based on where you're at in life, what you've got on in life, what's happening with the weather, what season you're in. There's so many variables, and we need to be adaptable to the seasons. We need to be adaptable to what you've got on in life. Sometimes you need to pull back in order to go forward. Sometimes it's best just to push forward, right? And it's working out when to push forward or when to pull back. And that's what you want to play with and try it and add variation. I think variation is really important. When we keep doing something constant, it becomes like it doesn't move the needle whatsoever. So the body needs variability. That's how humans have evolved, through adaptation. And so we want to be constantly putting different stimulus in, but we need to work out the dose of that stimulus. So, and sometimes that dose is different to what they published in the scientific paper. That 10 minutes in the ice bath might be 2 minutes for you, or 1 minute, right? Or it could be 15, 20. Who knows? Everyone's different and unique. You need to find your middle road, what works for you, and don't copy everyone else, and don't just copy the scientific paper. You're completely unique to the cohort that was studied in the scientific paper. So don't get carried away. Find your journey, and health is your journey. No one else's journey. It's your journey. It's your individual journey. Yes, you can get the support of others and expertise, but you need to apply it in your way, your unique way, to get the best results, and constantly keep checking in with your body. How's it feeling? How are you feeling mentally? How are you feeling emotionally? Check in constantly as to, yes, is it continuing to help move you in the direction you want to go? And sometimes moving in the direction you want to go is a few steps back, right? It is taking that time out. It is having that rest. It is missing a workout, or adding an extra workout in. It's a constant flow. It's ebbing and flowing, and we need to ebb and flow with it. And you'll get better with it over time. Over the course of time, you'll get better with the ebbing and flowing, and you'll find out when to pull back and when to push forward. It will work much better for you. So if you're struggling in this area, you feel stuck, and you're wanting to better ebb and flow with life, and the results that you're seeking just seem so far-fetched that they're not happening, then please reach out to me. I can give you some guidance. I might give you some insight as to what you can try, and how much to try of it that might work for you, and you can go on a journey. And so please reach out to me if you're looking for some assistance in terms of moving forward and you're feeling stuck, or it might be that you need to step back in order to move forwards. Thank you for joining me for this live recording. Really appreciate you joining me today. I will continue to do live recordings. I thoroughly enjoy sharing health information. If you've got any questions you want answered, please put them in the comments below, and I'll address them on the next podcast. Please interact with me. I'm here to enhance and enlighten your well-being, and I want to do that in the best possible way. So please interact, please leave comments, please share feedback, and let's grow together and continue to health up. Podcast disclaimer. This podcast and any information, advice, opinions, or statements within it do not constitute medical, healthcare, or professional advice, and are provided for general information purposes only. All care is taken in the preparation of the information in this podcast. Connected Wellness Proprietary Limited, operating under the brand me&my Health Up, does not make any representations or give any warranties about its accuracy, reliability, completeness, or suitability for any particular purpose. This podcast and any information, advice, opinions, or statements within it are not to be used as a substitute for professional, medical, psychological, psychiatric, or any other mental health care or healthcare in general. me&my Health Up recommends you seek the advice of a doctor or qualified health provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition. Inform your doctor of any changes that you may to your lifestyle and discuss these with your doctor. Do not disregard medical advice or delay visiting a medical professional because of something you hear in this podcast. This podcast has been carefully prepared on the basis of current information. Changes in circumstances after publication may affect the accuracy of this information. To the maximum extent permitted by the law, me&my Health Up disclaims any such representations or warranties to the completeness, accuracy, merchantability, or fitness for purpose of this podcast, and will not be liable for any expenses, losses, damages incurred, indirect or consequential damages, or costs that may be incurred as a result of the information being inaccurate or incomplete in any way and for any reason. No part of this podcast can be reproduced, redistributed, published, copied, or duplicated in a form without prior permission of me&my Health Up.